Today's show is sponsored by the Electric Vehicle Association. Join up to support the electrification of transport and get the help you need to finance your own EV or clean energy future. And by Energy Sage. Visit the link in the description to find local, verified solar experts, community projects and heat pump specialists in your area. And by you. Support the channel today and help us remain 100% independent. Welcome back to another episode of TEN, Transport Evolved News. Thanks for joining me. We start today's show with news of the ongoing tariff war that the US is engaging with the rest of the world, specifically tariffs concerning the auto industry. While a 25% tariff remains on all vehicles imported into the US, some media outlets are now reporting that the White House is considering temporary exemptions, specifically for imported parts used in vehicles assembled on US soil. Originally, the plan was to extend tariffs to include spare parts and accessories, as well as components in US-built vehicles once a system for calculating taxes was finalised. But this week, the Trump administration signalled that it may pause those tariffs to reduce financial pressure on automakers, a move that could buy time for companies working to set up domestic supply chains. With the current news cycle remaining turbulent, it is no secret that President Trump is facing mounting pressure, particularly from the auto industry, which represents a massive chunk of the US economy, to walk back some of his current policy decisions. One interesting side effect of this new world trade war is being felt in Europe, where reporting from German newspaper Handelsblatt suggests that the EU and China are on the cusp of a new EV deal. Previously, the European Union wanted to impose additional import tariffs on Chinese-made cars entering the EU for sale after it concluded Chinese EV factories were being unfairly subsidised by the Chinese government to allow them to undercut European manufacturers. Now it appears the EU is negotiating a potential new deal with China with a significant difference. Instead of imposing tariffs, there's talk of a potential minimum sticker price for all Chinese-made EVs imported to Europe. While this could level the playing field for European automakers in certain segments, it might also stifle entry-level EV adoption, as it could exclude affordable, low-cost solutions from the marketplace. There are many parallels between US electric car startup Lucid and the early days of Tesla, both focused on high-performance luxury EVs, with plans for more affordable models in the future. Lucid's former CTO and CEO, Peter Rawlinson, also played a key role as Tesla's vice president and chief vehicle engineer for Model S. This week, Lucid made another move reminiscent of Tesla's early days, announcing its acquisition of Nikola Motors' former manufacturing facility in Coolidge, Arizona, similar to how Tesla acquired the NUMMI plant in Fremont, California. The deal includes the facility and some production equipment, but excludes anything related to hydrogen fuel cell trucks. Lucid also plans to offer jobs to around 300 former Nikola employees using the facility for manufacturing, warehousing, testing and development as it ramps up production of its second EV, the Lucid Gravity SUV. Over-the-air updates are becoming a hot topic in the EV world and to a lesser extent the wider auto industry. This week, Mercedes-Benz rolled out a major OTA update for its vehicles. Announced midweek, the latest version of Mercedes-Benz's operating system, MBUX 2.6, is now live in over 2 million cars worldwide, including those with EQ badges and newer models featuring the "with EQ technology" suffix. The update brings several improvements, such as a revamped voice assistant, now with ChatGPT integration, a new off-road track mode for tracking and sharing off-road trips, and enhanced mapping with Google Satellite Street View. The biggest change for EV owners is the improved navigation system, which now offers live alternative routing based on terrain, battery levels, driving style, traffic, and weather. While we haven't had the chance to test it yet, I am eager to see how much better it is compared to previous iterations. At this week's New York Auto Show, Kia officially gave us the US debut of the EV4 compact sedan, confirming that, unfortunately, its hatchback variant won't be available in the US. While Kia had originally showcased both the hatchback and sedan versions of the EV4 earlier this year, this debut confirms that there are no plans at the time being for the hatchback in the US. The EV4 sedan will feature two battery options, 58.3 kilowatt-hours and 81.4 kilowatt-hours, with a longer range version expected to offer around 330 miles or 531 kilometres of range per charge. All US models will come with NACS charging ports located on the front as standard, and vehicle-to-load capability will be available on some variants. While a GT variant is still unconfirmed, the EV4 will be available in light, wind and GT line trims. Pricing and availability will be announced soon for the US market. Of course, we'll also share which markets get the hatchback and which will get the sedan as soon as we know. Polestar released its first quarter sales figures this week, showing a 76% year-over-year increase and a modest bump of just 48 vehicles over Q4 of last year. That brings its Q1 total to 12,304 vehicles delivered globally. While the company isn't performing well in China, it's focusing more on European and North American markets, although I should note it recently pulled its Polestar 2 from sale in the US due to the ongoing tariff war. And the sales, well, they are a mixed bag. While this quarter shows solid year-over-year growth, Polestar's quarterly deliveries have stayed mostly flat for the past year, with only 816 vehicles separating its best and worst quarters. More concerning for investors, Polestar still hasn't published its full fourth quarter and year-end financials for last year, blaming previous reporting errors that are still being corrected. It now says those figures will be released by the end of this month. General Motors has officially confirmed that, due to lower-than-expected sales, its Ingersoll production facility on Ontario, Canada, will halt production of its BrightDrop electric vans for 5 months between May and October. GM has denied that the temporary shutdown is linked to US tariffs on imported vehicles, though it's worth noting that BrightDrop vans, now sold under the Chevrolet nameplate, do fall under current White House tariff policies. Originally, GM had ambitious plans for BrightDrop as a standalone brand, but after struggling to sell large volumes of these Ultium-based vehicles, the company folded the brand into Chevrolet last year. Right now, Costco customers can find steep discounts on BrightDrop vans, and they're turning into a popular candidate for EV camper conversions. For instance, Grounded RVs has already begun to offer BrightDrop vans as a base for electric camper conversions, appealing to enthusiasts with the right skills. GM is now facing pressure from unions to mitigate job losses, but says it will reduce production to a single shift in October, with no plans to relocate production to the US. With all of the talk about tariffs and anti-EV sentiment, you might think the world's EV market share is falling, but that couldn't be further from the truth. It is actually still growing. New sales data from Row Motion shows that in March, global demand for EVs jumped by 40% compared to February and saw a 29% increase year-over-year. In Europe, sales surged by 22% year-to-date, with Germany, Italy and the UK leading the charge. France did see a drop in sales, but that's attributed to available subsidies getting smaller. Even in the US, EV sales continued to rise, with Kelley Blue Book reporting a 10% increase in Q1, despite President Trump's threats regarding EV incentives, charging station deployment and import taxes. More than 300,000 all-electric cars were sold in the US during the first quarter, accounting for 7.5% of all new car sales. While Tesla sales fell by 9%, a decline largely tied to controversial actions and statements from Elon Musk, not, as some suggest, a Model Y refresh, other brands, including GM, stepped up to fill that gap. It's a well-known thing that automaker sales and advertising teams often struggle to clearly represent the technology in their cars, leading to frustrated buyers who are unclear about what they're actually purchasing. However, when it comes to autonomous driving, this confusion can have fatal consequences. That's why Chinese authorities are introducing new legislation to prevent automakers from using certain terms to describe semi- and fully autonomous vehicle capabilities. In a meeting with automakers this week, the Chinese Ministry of Industry and Information Technology announced that terms like intelligent driving and autonomous driving will be banned from advertising advanced driver assistance features. Additionally, automakers will no longer be allowed to conduct public beta testing on new tech, and over-the-air updates won't be permitted to be pushed until full validation testing is completed. Misunderstanding advanced technology is a global industry issue, and I believe this type of regulation should be implemented worldwide. It would also be beneficial if driving tests included sections on the safe and proper use of this important safety technology. While solar energy generation is increasing globally and the cost of installation continues to fall, the fight against solar and other renewable energy sources is heating up in the US. Take Idaho Power, for example. The utility company has requested permission from the Idaho Public Utilities Commission to dramatically reduce its feed-in tariff for solar customers, while raising electricity costs for everyone else. Idaho Power wants to slash payments for solar customers feeding power back to the grid from 6.18 cents per kilowatt hour to just 2.46 cents per kilowatt hour. Even worse, during less sunny months, they propose paying customers less than 1 cent per kilowatt hour for the electricity they generate at home, while charging non-solar customers 8 cents per kilowatt hour for that very same energy. This request comes on the heels of the company tripling its monthly fixed charges. Meanwhile, in Texas, a new bill has passed the Senate that would impose major restrictions on the development of new wind and solar energy projects. The bill introduces rules for wildlife protection that curiously don't apply for fossil fuel drilling or generation. Texas's grid is already experiencing a surge in energy demand, and if this bill passes the House, it could lead to a significant energy shortfall in the near future if renewables are effectively reduced. It's clear who stands to benefit here, and of course, it's not utility customers. But hey, if you would like to benefit from all of the good things solar power can bring, and you do happen to live in the US, well, why not chat to our friends over at Energy Sage, who have been long-time sponsors of this show. Energy Sage helps homeowners connect with local verified solar installers across the US and now heat pump specialists in select markets who really know their stuff and can help you navigate the process of installing solar panels, help you join a community solar program, or get a heat pump installed. We used Energy Sage when we were looking for installers willing to help us put solar panels on the roof of our home, and our Energy Sage verified installers were professional, knowledgeable, and even put us in touch with an amazing credit union that allowed us to finance our solar panels for as low a monthly payment as possible. Follow the links below to sign up for either of Energy Sage's free, no obligation services and get that ball rolling today. If you choose to use an Energy Sage installer for your project, we will also get a small referral fee, so you'll be helping us out too. Help the grid get greener, save money, and support the channel? It's a win-win-win. And now it's time for our news shorts. Isuzu Motors has issued a recall for the NRR EV in the US to address a potential cooling pump failure leading to a loss of drive power. Dealers will replace the cooling pump, flush cooling systems and update owner's manuals free of charge. Porsche has recalled approximately 8,500 Macan EVs to address an issue with the rear-view camera, which may either fail to display an image or fail to display a clear one. A dealer-executed software upgrade is the proposed solution. In a related recall, Volkswagen Group of North America is recalling around 313 Audi SQ6 and Q6 e-tron models to fix a similar issue. Dealers will inspect and replace components as necessary. Norwegian battery firm Vianode has secured a €33.4 million loan from Innovation Norway to support the construction of its first large-scale battery production facility in Norway. Meanwhile, UK charging network Instavolt has unveiled a new set of technology features aimed at tackling the persistent issue of cable theft at rapid charging sites, including use of a traceable UV-reactive forensic liquid. In retaliation for impossibly high tariffs the US has imposed on Chinese goods, the PRC has announced a total export ban on 6 of the 17 rare earth elements that it currently ships to the US, key materials used in electronics and EV manufacturing. In a more positive news story, Lime Scooters has inked a new partnership with Redwood Recycling to create a closed-loop recycling program for its used scooter lithium-ion batteries. The initiative will run in the US, Germany and the Netherlands. Germany's ADAC, the largest automobile association in Europe, has released a new report showing that EVs experience significantly fewer breakdowns than their internal combustion engine counterparts, just 4.2 EVs per thousand compared to 10.4 ICE vehicles. Stellantis has announced a new partnership with French firm Qinomic to bring a retrofit conversion solution to market, one that will allow certain internal combustion engine vans from Stellantis to be converted into fully electric ones. Democratic Senator Elissa Slotkin of Michigan says she plans to introduce a new bill that would ban Chinese-made connected cars and even connected car components from entering the US. Framed as a national security issue, the proposal is likely to gain bipartisan support. Polestar is reducing its workforce at its UK R&D facility, affecting engineers who worked on the upcoming Polestar 5. The company hasn't disclosed the number of jobs cut, but says the team is no longer needed. At the New York Auto Show, Nissan's senior VP confirmed that the next-generation Nissan Leaf will target a range of over 300 miles, placing it in the same market segment as the Chevrolet Equinox EV. Chinese automaker Li Auto has filed for its new all-electric SUV, the Li i8, which will offer seating for 6 and all-wheel drive, initially targeting the Chinese market. Pricing details have yet to be announced. Researchers have developed a method to turn water into electricity by harvesting static electricity from each droplet using narrow vertical tubes. This offers a new approach beyond traditional methods. Daimler Buses has launched an in-house battery service facility for e-Citaro bus customers, enabling battery packs from the vehicles to be checked, serviced and modules replaced when needed. Mercedes-Benz has told dealers it will discontinuing its order books for the EQT and e-Sedan compact commercial vans, with a plan to end production in the second quarter of next year. Neither model will get a direct replacement. In Australia, a coalition MP has controversially called for utility companies to allow blackouts to discourage demand for renewable energy, arguing the country can't meet its needs without fossil fuels. California is rolling out a second round of e-bike incentives, offering up to $2,000 off a new e-bike, prioritising low-income residents to help make electric transportation more equitable. It had high demand the first time. UK-based RBW, known for bespoke electric conversions of classic MG sports cars, is opening its first US production facility in Virginia to build all-electric British classics for American customers. Kia is bringing its AI assistant to European customers following earlier launches in Korea and the US. The assistants will be rolled out via OTA updates to all eGMP-based vehicles, including the upcoming EV3. General Motors has officially surpassed all other US automakers, Tesla included, in domestic battery cell production, according to Bloomberg New Energy Finance. Its facilities still have capacity to spare. GM is also planning to introduce a lower-cost LFP battery for the entry-level Silverado EV alongside the Bolt EV. In the Silverado EV, it promises up to 350 miles of range while cutting the price by around $6,000. Meanwhile, several Dodge Charger EV owners are accidentally damaging their front hoods after slamming them shut. It turns out the muscle car's front end is more fragile than fierce. EV charging installer Q Merit just recorded its best ever quarter, with more electric car owners than ever opting for professionally installed Level 2 home charging solutions. Lexus has acquired land in Shanghai for its first dedicated EV factory in China. The 1.13 million square metre facility will build battery electric vehicles for the local market. Geely has triggered its put option for Lotus, meaning the British sports car brand will regain independence, but also will need to find additional future funding. Hyundai Mobis is showing off a new EV battery system with built-in fire suppression. It features segmented modules and a proprietary extinguishing agent to help stop fires before they spread. China's LeapMotor has launched its mid-size B10 SUV with a starting price of around $13,500 equivalent. It's expected to eventually reach European markets. Hyundai Motor Group is rumoured to be setting up a dedicated battery task force to speed up battery development across its brands. It's reportedly motivated by BYD's recent rapid battery tech advancements. Meanwhile, China is preparing to roll out a stricter national EV battery standard next year. The new rules will enforce tighter safety protocols requiring all batteries meet them to prevent fires. Archer Aviation has unveiled a new eVTOL air taxi network in collaboration with United Airlines. It aims to offer air transfer services between major New York City airports, minimising traditional transfer times. Mini is the latest automaker to confirm that it will no longer be importing Mini models to the US from China. The reason is pretty obvious: US tariffs, and that means for now the Mini Aceman won't be available. MAN Trucks is expanding its electric truck and bus battery production in Bavaria, Germany, with total investment now topping €1.5 billion to support growing European EV demand. CATL has reported steady year-over-year income growth for the first quarter, netting $1.9 billion, a 32.85% increase compared to the same period last year. However, it's a 5.3% decline from the fourth quarter of 2024. Scania Trucks has introduced a new battery electric bus platform with a 3-axle configuration and low entry capabilities, improving accessibility for passengers and enhancing its electric bus offerings. Troubled V2G specialist Fermata Energy may be acquired by Nuve, with talks reportedly underway, according to Axios. Fermata was one of the first US companies to work on vehicle-to-grid using Nissan Leafs. Mercedes-Benz has begun series production of the all-electric CLA with EQ technology. While a non-electric version is going to be available, the electric variant promises impressive battery efficiency figures. Kenworth Truck, set to produce hydrogen fuel cell tractor units this year, has paused production plans due to limited US hydrogen refueling infrastructure. No new production plans have been set. Chargetronics has unveiled a 1.28 megawatt distributed charging system featuring a third-generation pedestals capable of delivering 240 kilowatts each. NIO has provided more details on its Onvo L90, a 6-seat SUV set to launch in Europe. It will come with a 60 kilowatt-hour battery as standard, with an optional 85 kilowatt-hour upgrade. LeapMotor has filed its first regulatory documents in China for the B01 Sedan. Built on the Leap 3.5 platform, the vehicle is aimed to compete against the XPeng Mona M03. In Queensland, Australia, a mayor has opposed EV charger installations in the area, citing media reports that portrayed EVs as ethically questionable and dirty. And those are your news shorts. There will be more next week. Our final 2 stories are next, but first, a word about our most important sponsors, you. Transport Evolved is celebrating its 15th year, and we've worked hard to stay independent thanks to the generous support of people like you. We've never charged for our content and hope to keep it that way, but our model relies on your contributions. Right now, we need that more than ever. YouTube's changing policies and external challenges have led to the loss of a client worth more than $2,000 a month. On top of that, continued harassment from certain groups online has added to our difficulties. We are doing everything we can to keep going, but if we can't make the shortfall up, I can't guarantee how long we'll be here. If you're able to help, please consider supporting us on Patreon or through other methods. We're also offering third-party video production and EV consulting, so if you know someone who could benefit, please reach out. As always, if you support us, whether financially or just by sharing what we do, thank you. Even watching our videos all the way through really does help. And now, it's time to those last 2 stories. At this week's New York Auto Show, Subaru unveiled several new models for the US market, with its iconic Outback taking centre stage during a dedicated streamed reveal. While Subaru didn't forget its electric vehicle offerings, the Solterra got a refreshed look for the 2026 model year. It didn't exactly give them a starring role, with only a few still images released. The same treatment was given to Subaru's brand new 2026 Trailseeker EV, the brand's second US market EV. Built with 8.3 inches of ground clearance, the Trailseeker is, because Subaru, a wagon, equipped with all-wheel drive and a claimed 3,500 US pounds of towing capacity. It's also promising around 375 horses at the wheels, paired with an as-yet unspecified battery pack that will be capable of up to 150 kilowatts of DC fast charging with enacts as standard. Why Subaru has given it so little fanfare, perhaps because it's not due until next year, is frankly anyone's guess. But come on, Subaru, we want to know more. And finally, I have a question. Have you heard of a car called the McMurtry Spéirling? If you are into hill climbs or high-performance cars, you probably have. Otherwise, maybe not. Tiny in size but massive in power, the diminutive Spéirling shot to fame a few years ago when it smashed the Goodwood Festival of Speed record, completing the iconic hill climb course in under 40 seconds. It did so thanks to its feather-light weight, 1,000 horsepower and, most astonishingly, 2 metric tons of downforce at standstill. How is that all possible, you ask? Well, it's thanks to its fan-powered downforce system, which basically glues the car to the track regardless of speed. And to show off just how wild that system is, the team at McMurtry recently pulled off a new stunt. The Spéirling has become the very first car ever to drive upside down from a standstill. Using a custom-built rig, the car was flipped onto its roof with the fans at full blast, and then it crawled forwards. Yeah, it is bizarre. Yes, it's a feat of brilliant engineering. And yeah, I think we all needed something a little ridiculous to end this week's show on, right? So, on that note, we are done for today. As always, a massive thank you to the Electric Vehicle Association for sponsoring today's show. They've been advocating for EVs since 1967 and firmly believe that our future depends on us making the switch to clean, green cars today. The EVA can help you find someone near to you who can help you make that switch to electric. It can help you become an EV educator, and it can point you in the direction of monthly meetups for like-minded EV fans. And if you become a member, you'll gain access to a clean energy and EV loan program set up between the EVA and the Colorado Clean Energy Credit Union. You can find out more by heading to myeva.org. And thanks to Energy Sage. Follow the links below to find out how easy it can be to get verified, trustworthy solar experts helping you make that step towards energy self-sufficiency, either through solar on the roof of your home, joining a community solar project, or by getting a heat pump installed. And if you are someone who made your own transportation or energy greener this week, well done. If you'd like to support the channel directly, don't forget, as I noted earlier, that you can support us from $1.50 a month on Patreon. And if you are in the greater Portland, Oregon area and you need a video production team for your business, whatever it is, we are available for non-EV production work. So please reach out. Don't forget too that we have swag you can buy over at our swag store, and you can also make one-off donations to support the channel using Ko-fi, Bitcoin, or even old-fashioned checks. We also have a new Amazon affiliate program code you can use to support the show. You can find other content from us on our main channel and on Transport Evolved Take 2. We publish on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays here on the main channel, and you'll find us on Sundays over on Transport Evolved Take 2. To finish, remember that you are valid, you are loved, and you have a place in this world, even if lawmakers, politicians, and some businesses are doing everything they can to try and erase your voice and your existence. I'm not going to lie, this week has been hell for many of us, and it feels like things just keep getting worse. And this is important, so know that it is okay to not be okay, and it's okay to be angry, scared, and just want to curl up and maybe not wake up. And it's okay to weep uncontrollably. I know several of our team have done that this week. But existence is also resistance. Your existence makes it harder for hate to exist. Be inspirational. Be yourself. Do good. Don't let hatred win. And remember, regardless of what people keep telling you, empathy and kindness is not a sin. So speak up, be bold, make good trouble, peacefully protest. Make sure you attend your local community town halls and become an active voice if you want to change the way things are going. And if you are planning on being involved in protests this week, make sure that you remain lawful, be smart, and keep your wits about you. And remember, whatever this currently is a marathon, not a sprint. So until next time, stay safe, regardless of your identity or who you love. Be an amazing ally, be kind, be that positive change you want to see in the world. And please, for the sake of everyone's future, don't let hate or ignorance win. As always, keep evolving.